Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about different ways that you can stick within your budget and not break the bank this Christmas. I know that it can be super easy to overspend. I've done it. I'm trying really hard to not do it anymore and just stick within something that is reasonable for Christmas. Hi guys, today's Advent reading comes from Isaiah chapter 40 verses 1 through 5. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and announce to her that her time of hard service is over. Her iniquity has been pardoned, and she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice of one crying out, "Prepare the way of the Lord in the wilderness. Make a straight highway for our God in the desert. Every valley will be lifted up, and every mountain and hill will be leveled. The uneven ground will become smooth, and the rough places a plain. And the glory of the Lord will appear, and all humanity together will see it, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken." I'll see you for the reading tomorrow. All right, let's get into it. So the very first thing that you need to do is something that sounds simple, but I know that especially if you have younger kids, it's so easy to go overboard for Christmas, but that is to set a budget for Christmas. Just set a limit that is actually within your means, something that makes sense for your family, and then just make sure that you don't go over that. I know that different ways that you can do this is you can actually use cash when buying for Christmas presents. I know that you can, I've heard of people having a separate Christmas account where they put money in there all year, and then whatever they have in there at Christmas is what they have to spend. So there are different ways that you can set a budget and just make sure that you are spending a reasonable amount at Christmas. One thing that I think is it's a weird thing, after you get married and you combine all your things to then buy gifts for your partner sometimes. And so you can have a conversation with them about a certain amount that you want to spend on each other, or if you want to go in and be like, hey, this is something that we really want together, this is what we're going to get each other at Christmas. So that's a conversation that you can have. That's one way to stick within your budget, because I know that it is so easy to just kind of go overboard. And so I think that it all just starts with making sure you're both on the same page. I know that obviously you have to trust that the other person's going to do that, and my husband does not always pay attention. He has a tendency to go rogue at Christmas, and so I try to rein him in a little bit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I think at least having the conversation is a good starting point. Another thing that I've been seeing this year that I actually think is really, really cute is the 4 gift rule, where everybody in the family gets 4 different gifts. They get something to wear, something to read, something you want, and something you need. I just think that that is super cute. I know that on Etsy they sell cute little tags that that's how you can label the presents. I mean, you can obviously make your own, or just not even worry about that and just do 4 presents and wrap them like normal. I think that is a really practical way to, one, stick within your budget and within your means, but also not to bring a whole bunch of excess stuff into your house, because I feel there's this sense of more is more is more, and I don't always think that more is more. And so I do think that that is a good way to make sure that you don't go crazy overboard, and it is also super cute. It's a catchy little thing that I just think is really cute and something that you could implement. The next way that you can stick within your budget is when it comes to stocking stuffers and wrapping paper and things like that. Go to places I know around us there's a Darlington, and then there's also an Ollie's Bargain outlet, and both of those, I know for books for my daughter, we love to go there, because I know at least at Darlington last year I think the books were $2 or something, and so we could get a handful of books and it wasn't super expensive. They're not obviously the brand new books everybody's talking about, but they do have some good books. I know that some of the ones that we got her last year are some of the favorites still to this day. And so just not going out and spending a whole bunch of money, checking out those types of things for things that are stocking stuffers, or if you're doing the 4 things, you could do the something to read at a place like that and you're only spending a couple dollars. And I know also another thing that I always get at Darlington is that's where I always get my wrapping paper and bows and such. It's just such a good store to get the smaller items. Another thing that you could do to stick within your budget is to not necessarily give gifts, but to give experiences. So you could give little cards that say, like, good for like one free, blah, blah, blah. I know that this isn't necessarily something that like you would give like a little kid and they would fully understand, but if you're looking for something that like your kid could give your significant other, like have them write like, this is good for like dad gets one free blah 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 blah, like one like daddy daughter date night, something like that. And that's just something that then like they can be excited about it on Christmas, and then it's an experience that'll happen later in the year. And then you're not spending all that money at Christmas. It could be something that you're spending on later, which obviously you're still spending, but there's just such, when you're buying gifts for everybody at Christmas, it can just be such a large chunk of money all at one time that if you could spread it throughout the year, maybe that could make things a little bit easier for you. So you could do that as well. You could do like gifting like a trip or a vacation to look forward to, just something like that. The next way that you can save money is to do DIY gifts. I know that these are something that I think are really cute, like giving again from a kid to a parent, even as an adult. Like I've made my mom a few gifts in the years past, and she really likes them more so than me just going out and like buying something random at a store for her. So I think DIY gifts are super fun. They can be really inexpensive, and Pinterest is full of them. So it is obviously just making the time to make them. And then the last thing that I actually want to talk about is something that I hadn't heard about until this year, and it is Thriftmas. And it is where everything that you buy for Christmas, you thrift and you buy secondhand. I think that this could work out really well if you have like a lot younger kids. I know that like for us, like Aurora doesn't understand what Christmas is, so like she's not asking for anything for Christmas. And so we could go get secondhand toys or things like that, and they would be new to her and she would love them. And obviously I know this doesn't apply for just younger kids, but I just think that Thriftmas is such a great idea if that is possible. Obviously, like if there's something that you really want or somebody in your family really wants and you can't find it secondhand, like obviously you can buy it new. But I think that like when you're not looking for something super specific, it's just like an in general, like buying secondhand is um, a way that you can do that without breaking your budget. So the last thing is not actually really anything that you can like save money when buying the gifts, but it is just to go in like with a plan. Like the worst thing that me and my husband ever did was to just like walk through the toys section when we're excited about Christmas and having no plan. Like we have no idea what we want to get them, like nothing in mind, and it's just like, oh, she would like this, and oh, she would like this, and that can get out of hand really quickly. So I think that you should just go in with a plan, even like knowing, having a general idea of like, okay, like she already has this and this, so I need something that costs like $30. And just like even like going in thinking about that, being conscious about it, I think that that is like the number one thing, is like you have to have it like at the front of your mind the entire time, just that you're not going to go crazy and you're not going to go overboard. Because I just feel like at this time of year especially, like it's just so easy to just get like wrapped up in the giving, and like you can have the best intentions when it's like, oh, I want to give somebody this and this and this and this, and then you have like this like grocery list long of gifts that you're giving people, and like that can come from like the best place ever and they can be so thankful. But if you're doing that knowing that like you're not going to be able to go buy groceries then the week after Christmas, it's not necessarily the best thing to do. So just make sure that you're being super conscious, and just know that there are ways to express that you care for people that doesn't involve a hefty price tagged gift. Um, and just to keep that in mind that, it's not necessarily the thing that you need to do every time. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.